Welcome to Talking to the Game. It's your host, Marquise Holland, and I'm here with Joe Sue. Go ahead, speak your piece, my boy.
It's your boy Joe Sue back again. What's good with y'all? Hope everything's doing great.
And I'm here with the Abominable Snowman, Kenny himself,
Oh,
optimistic CJ McCullen guy.
CJ, my guy, was heading it. What's going on, people? Good to be back for another week, man.
And we're going to just get straight into it. First, we're going to hit on the NBA. And we're going to talk about Draymond Green. We're going to talk about his comments because it just needs to be, it was needed to be said. I was waiting for somebody to say it. And usually, Draymond Green's going to give us Draymond Green. Man, Kenny, tell me what you think.
Well, first of all, if anybody in the league was going to say it, I don't even think Brown would have said it or put it so bluntly, so candidly. It was going to be Draymond. It was going to be Draymond. I felt as though he had a good point, especially when you're talking about teams that sit guys versus guys that sit out. And it's in essence it's for the same reason, but the power structure and the way that grows is totally different. I felt as though he was right on the money, though, and I fully support guys speaking their piece. And for Draymond to say what he said and to be right about what he said, that was really big. And, I'm hoping some culture change happens for the NBA, but, it's interesting with this power structure and how it's set up. So, but kudos to Draymond for even speaking about that.
What about you, Sue?
Man, you know how like we know some people who express themselves without a care in the world, but whatever they say, it's the truth, but nobody wanted to say it, but they said, I don't care, I'm gonna say it. That's Draymond.
It's like a drunk uncle at the
That's
party.
Draymond.
And
You
I
know
can
what I'm saying?
agree with
Like
that.
Kenny really did touch on a good point, saying like LeBron probably wouldn't have said anything because LeBron's just like, I'm the face of the league. I can't really say anything because people are gonna take it, twist it, and turn it into something completely different. And I understand that. Now, Draymond, people are just gonna expect that from the way Draymond plays. People are just gonna expect that. So for him to say that, actually get the raw truth out, it's a great point. It's a great point, and I'm so glad he did talk about this because multiple players have been fined for requesting trades, but literally for what they did to Andre Drummond is just atrocious. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. That's just, you can't do that, especially to somebody who's been contributing for your team that's already trash. Your team is bad, but he's been contributing very well, doing something. He's
He came to
producing
that
a
team
little bit
knowing
on
they were
the team.
trash too.
Huh?
I said he came to that team knowing they were trash and still putting up 20 and 20.
Thank you. Thank you. And then you're just gonna say one day, like literally, he was dressed to play. And then you said, oh nah, let's talk in the back for a second. And then he comes back in street clothes. Come on now. How disrespectful is that? Like, come on. You finding people $50,000 for saying, I don't want to be here. I want to request a trade. But you can sit me down as a player, the one who actually people are paying you to come see me. They don't know you unless they Google you. They come to the arena and they hear my name. So they come to see me, not you. You can't treat me like this. I'm more of a commodity to you than anything else. So that's how you need to treat me. And I'm glad Draymond touched on that because he's the voice that's expressing the opinion or the fact that nobody else want to talk about.
And I think y'all hit the nail on the head with this one for sure. I think companies are seeing these players as expendable. You know what I mean? If you're not a top 10 guy in the league, then you're expendable. And that's how I feel like they're viewing these players. And it's just not right for them to be able to do that. But when Draymond brought up great examples, like when he said he think a player should request a trade, he got fined for it. That's ridiculous. And I'm definitely on the player's side with this one. They have to do better. They have to do better. Don't give like special permission to these organizations. And then when these players want to speak out, all of a sudden it's a problem. That's for one. That is totally absurd. Like I said, you guys hit the nail on the head with this one, man. It's just crazy. And just because we're talking about that, let's bring up the parting of the ways with DeMarcus Cousins. What's going on there? Do y'all even see him still being in the league? Like he's I don't know what's going on with Draymond. Please, somebody tell. I mean, not Draymond, but DeMarcus Cousins. Excuse me. Somebody tell me what's going on with DeMarcus Cousins. He part ways from Houston. He was just in LA. Like, I don't get it. I don't even know what team wants him.
So what you think? I don't know what to wrap my head around with DeMarcus anymore. What you think, sir?
I mean, I only got like maybe one thing to say on Boogie. Okay, maybe two. But if I have more, then I'm just gonna go on. But for Boogie, I feel as though the way that him and the Rockets separated was mutual, because that team right now, the way the Rockets are going, they even said it, they're in a younger direction with the team that they have so far. DeMarcus Cousins, he isn't old. He isn't old, but he hasn't really played a full season doing that well. So that's one reason why they should let him go. They'd let him go. But now I feel as though I think he should go to the Lakers. I feel as though he should, because last time when they did have him, he didn't play at all. So why am I paying you to sit on the bench? Why am I paying you to sit on the bench? I bet you're playing in Houston. Now I'm going to observe you. All right, you're doing very well. You know what I'm saying? When you score more than 10 points, you tend to get double doubles. You know what I'm saying? You tend to get more than 10 rebounds. You had 3 games where you only had 5 points, but you had 6 rebounds, 9 points, you had 8 rebounds. You know, so when you're low in scoring, you're keeping the same number of rebounds. All right, you're averaging 20 minutes. And even on the games where you are doing well, 12 and 10, 15 and 13. You can contribute, especially since Anthony Davis is out. I see how you're playing now. So I'm not paying you to sit on the bench. Now I can pay you to play.
I don't. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Keith. I was saying, well, so you brought up a good point about the Lakers, right? And I think that if Boogie were to go to that team, he would end up playing like the Dwight Howard role of last year, of being the kind of like the emotional aggressor, or the emotional kind of guy for that team. Like, you saw Dwight on that defensive end, like, he's still a force no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, the thing about Boogie, he can defend the paint. And I think right now, Montrez, he's not that guy. He's getting pushed around a lot. And people are realizing he's a 4. Like, he's a small guy. I mean, he's tall, but he's not built. He's not built to withstand that. And Marcus Gasol is getting slow. He's slower by the day.
Yeah.
And I think Boogie would be a great addition. But for him, he hasn't been the same since the Achilles injury, and it's really been sad to see like the decline he's been on. He's been signing 1-year minimum deals really since then. He was with Golden State, kind of trying to position himself so when he does come back on the floor, he's with a really good team. And and it's a smart thing, but he's never been able to get back on the floor or really to make a good contribution. So, do I see him on any team? I think that he will have to go on a team where he's going to have to prove himself at least for the rest of the year. And maybe in the offseason, he'll get picked up again. But I don't see him joining a contender right now. Maybe he can go to Portland, help my guys CJ and Dame out. But that's another story,
That'll be better than Hassan Whiteside.
Don't be disrespectful. But, all right. This is better than Nurkic. But, we're going to – I like Boogie. I think he's a great talent on the end of it. Great talent.
I think with Boogie, it's a confidence thing. Like, I think he thinks he's still that guy when he left Sacramento, when he left the Pelicans. But the thing is, he's been out so long, he hasn't played to that level again. Like, you see he had flashes in Houston, but he didn't get there. He's not there yet. And the thing about it is that he's it's like he's just jumping from team to team. I don't really see a team picking him up. Maybe the Lakers. And I don't think the thing about him trying to even fit as the Dwight Howard, he's not as energetic as Dwight. Dwight is way more athletic. And the most important thing Dwight did, though, is that he played his role. I don't think DeMarcus knows that he's not a superstar no more. He might be going through that mentally. So for him, I don't know exactly what team would benefit. I do think he's a great talent. But as far as that, I'm not sure because I don't see any contender team really like taking that chance. Like, oh my gosh, we're really struggling. We need a Boogie. You know what I mean? We need him just to see what he's going to do. I don't see nobody taking that risk.
I think about Dallas or Memphis.
For me, it's just these teams are just they're not there yet. And if they're going to keep going in a direction where they want to be young and let these players play together, because like I said, you know, Memphis is young, Dallas is young a little bit, but with some experienced players. He goes there. I mean, he could probably contribute if he gets on the floor, like we all saying. If he gets on the floor, maybe. And 20 minutes is enough time to do a lot.
He's
He's proven to do well in those 20 minutes. He's gonna have cold games, but his last 10, he only had 3. Well, during the month of February, I should say.
This is his first season, first 30 games straight in 3 years.
Yeah, at least we know he's healthy.
I don't think he's had a consistent 3 months in a row. In the past 3 years, just been injury after injury, re-aggravation, things like that. So this is really the first time, and I don't think a contending team would even look that way, look his way right now, just because he hasn't proven anything. He's getting older. I believe he's 29, around 30ish. So he's on possibly the either at the top of his prime or at the right about when you crossing that line to try to go right overboard, on that decline. So I'm hoping that he can still be a nice 18 and 9 guy, but we don't know. I don't know.
Definitely. And let's fast forward to All-Star Weekend. And give me your All-Star reserves, man. I have mine ready to go. Who do y'all think is going to be on that bench for the East and the West?
Let's hear what you got to say, Kenny.
So you go first, because I got some names, but I know how I think. You know my judgment skill. I'm seasoned.
I'll go first because when it sound like y'all about to give me something crazy. I'll go first. For the East, I got Zach LaVine, Trae Young, Randall, James Harden, Sabonis, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum. And then for the West, I got Dame Dollar, PG, Donovan Mitchell. I got AD, but I got him getting replaced because he's hurt by Rudy Gobert.
I say
Brandon Ingram, Zion Williams, and Shai Gilgeous Alexander.
Pretty much took most of my list there. I had like 2 more names, but he pretty much took my list. Yeah.
I'll say that's
some of these guys are just having really good years right now. I think Jason Tatum is coming into his own. This game this past weekend actually showed Brandon Ingram and Jason Tatum's ability, especially down the stretch, and it's looking good for those guys. So Jason Tatum, I think he's going to be one of those guys like a perennial All-Star. He's going to be in the league. He's going to be in the All-Star for the next couple of years.
Most definitely. Jason Tatum, I'm so glad you mentioned Jason Tatum. He's one of my favorite players in the East. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, that duo is really slept on. But the problem is, well, we're not even talking about that, but yeah, they're 2 talents that slept on, and I'm glad you brought them up. My boy Terry. I got to hear about Scary Terry, as Kenny calls him. You know what I'm saying? I got to put him in it because, he's been cooking. I watched Orlando playing. Nikola, that boy, he didn't make it this year. But the way he was playing, he should have made the reserves. I'm gonna add him on that list as well. But most of the people that you said, yeah.
Did you say Zach LaVine as well?
Yeah, I said Zach LaVine.
Yeah, of course he's gonna. Yeah,
they haven't announced.
That boy loves Zach. That boy loves Zach.
They haven't announced them yet, but I think Zach should definitely make it. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, their numbers are up. Boston for sure is definitely going to be a problem these next 2-3 years. Like this is the leap that I wanted these two to make as far as points, going from that 22, 20, 21 range to 25 to 26 now. If they play like this next year and the year after that and just keep the team the same, all they got to do is keep the team the same and maybe get one big that could really ball with them, they're going to be a problem. I think people talking about they're the Packers. I ain't going to talk about Colin, but he's ridiculous sometimes. Sabonis, he's been balling. James Harden, you know what he gonna give you, and Julius Randle is just having a great year.
Yeah,
Still,
I give it to him.
Quietly.
thing is, he's been in the league so
quietly.
long.
He's
He
having
been in
a
the-
good year quietly.
Yeah, he's been in the
It's
league.
because he's on the
He don't
Knicks
seem young, but he's only 26.
and he's doing good. And he's on the
Um,
Knicks. That's why he's not getting any type of recognition.
and then you know Trey Young gonna give you Trey Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, young
He
boy.
still needs another piece.
Another.
I feel like, well, yeah.
He needs several. I just think he needs several. People talk about how small he is and how he can't defend when point guard is one of the hardest positions to defend, if it's not the hardest, in my opinion. Not only that, he also has to go down and get buckets too on a team that's not contending, that don't have consistent players who's putting up numbers. You never know who's going to be your second leading scorer, but you always know who your first is going to be. It's putting a lot of load on Trey Young, especially just freezing up people and getting them open. But hey, I feel as though he should be an all-star. Some people don't even have him as a reserve, which is so mind-blowing to me. And that's why I'm glad we had that comparison with Luka and Trey Young, because you see how they do Luka. Matter of fact, you see how they did Dame Dollar. That is absurd for him not to be in the starting lineup, but Luka by the fans. That's what I'm saying. That overhype is just
Popularity.
easy.
It's all about the name.
That's all it is.
It's all about the name.
All about the name. And I think that's just come from hype. He's a great young talent. I just think he's overhyped. I think people are just too excited for him. I think they just need to let him marinate first. Like let him get more in depth into the league before we just start claiming stuff. But even Dame Dollar, I feel like he should have been starting for the first time. He's not. Man, I think this should be Shy's first year as an all-star. If he's not, that's absurd. I think Zion this would be his first year, and I think
Not yet.
second year back.
This part is voted by the reserves are voted by the coaches, right?
It's voted by a little bit of everybody.
Yeah, right. Okay. So at least most of the coaches should be able to get some of this stuff right. Usually they do. You know, sometimes they got, you know, some snubs here and there, but it's what a 12, 13-man roster. You can't please everybody. If they expanded it to 15, then it might be a little bit more open for a lot more people. You can have, a few for different spots. You can have 3 of each position. You know, the top 3 voters in each position should be a lot easier. But a whole nother topic for another day. But I still think, with the starting 5 and with the captains, and this is gonna be interesting. Do you guys know if they're gonna keep the same format as last year?
Yeah, they are.
Target score.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
And this is gonna be interesting.
I think they're gonna keep that tradition going because they did name the award after him now.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
And since you brought up coaches, man, what y'all think about what's going on in Minnesota? It's cold like Minnesota.
Gonna stay cold in Minnesota.
Man, I don't know what's going on in Minnesota. Fired the guy. Fired him.
He wasn't doing anything.
Fired him. I mean, he did. To be fair, though, he did have a 43-95 record. He did have a 43-95 record. That's all.
I'm not good at math, but I know that's not a good percentage.
I totally agree with you. And you guys know my whole thing I'm about development. I'm all about the total thing, not just about wins and losses. I'm about inside the game, like the inside the the camp, whatever. Was he getting people better? And where's he getting them over the hump? No. Was he getting them into competing for For a finals appearance? No. Were they getting better? Not necessarily. But some of those players were learning who they are within that system. They were getting better. It's just that they just weren't able to put it all together. Cat was doing pretty well, for the past couple of years. Now they added D-Lo. They've had some exciting times, but they just weren't able to keep it consistent. And I think it's something that needs to be on both the players and the coaches. So I think that, this roster needs to be taken, be scoped over pretty harshly as well, just as the coaches were. But it's just really interesting. I think.
Go ahead and hit on Ryan Saunders, Joseph. Then I'll go last. Because
I mean, for me, like I kind of feel like they only hired him because of Flip Saunders, his dad, and like, yeah, sometimes like with the name, it was like, okay, your dad gave us a great season. Kevin Garnett's only MVP season was under your father, so you might have the same trait. Let's see. Yeah, it was only his third year, but for me, you have the talent to actually be better. I'm not gonna say you're gonna win. You're not gonna win it all. Not at all. No, not even close. You're not. You're not gonna make it to the finals. You're not gonna do that. Not anytime soon. But for you to be dead last with the talent you have, you're not better than the Kings. Like, bro, you have to play better.
I
You
don't
have
think
to
this
play
team is
better.
better than the Kings, though.
You said what?
I don't think this team is better than the Kings.
Like, bro, they have the not even talent wise.
Not even talent wise. I don't think this team is better than the Kings at all.
Okay, well, that's fair. But
it's not a huge gap, but it's a gap.
They should still play better.
But it's a gap. They
need to play better.
But
so they need to play better, but he wasn't pushing them to play better. 3 years, like 95 losses. Why am I keeping you?
That's 30th season.
I understand it's not going to happen all on the first day, first season. I get that. But with what I helped you surround, they have to play better. He has to push them to be better. He hasn't done it. I understand you want to wait 3 years progression. I understand that's a beautiful story. However, sometimes there's other teams who would like to win now, and they want to enter the win now conversation. Minnesota, they definitely want to enter the win now conversation. I'm pretty sure they're tired of being a lottery team, having single winning seasons. That gets tiring. So it has sometimes when you have to clean everything up, sometimes it has to start with the coach. So we have to see who they're gonna bring in. I do respect Ryan because of the legacy with his father and everything. I respect him, but he just wasn't the coach for this team. He might get another opportunity. We don't know.
They're talking about bringing in Chris Finch, who's the assistant over there at Toronto, who's been jumping around to assistant. For me, it's just like he. Okay, the record is one thing, but like you said, the progression of the players. If you're not developing the players right, then we're going to see if their numbers is not going up, if their numbers going down, if things is shifting around, we're going to see what's going on. We're going to notice something has to change. So I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean? I think it was if you're going to do it, then do it now. You're 7-21. What do you have to lose? You know what I mean? Get a new system in there. Get a person in there who's good at developing players, who's good at motivating the team, who's good at getting players better, or put them in a system where your flaws is disguised and you're playing to all your strengths, and just try to win games that way. But something just needed to be done, and I'm glad they're doing it because you just had Andrew Wiggins, and when y'all had Andrew Wiggins, he was actually was performing. I'm not gonna lie, he wasn't the best, but he was performing well enough.
He could have played better.
They were winning games, but now it's like it's completely different. It's a different story. I don't know what's going on.
Well, my thing is, you have a franchise guy in Cat who I'm actually very high on. I like this guy. I think he's a great talent. But my only issue is he's been there the longest. He's had 3 head coaches, but nothing has changed. They brought in as many people as they possibly could to surround him with talent. And he hasn't been able to get it done due to injury and also due to, let's be frank here, a lack of performance. So at what point are we like, does he need to go?
Can you say he really had talent that was
he had Jimmy Butler. He's had Zach. You just said he had Andrew. Like, he's had people to try to take the pressure off of him. Like,
he had a young Zach, though. He didn't have Zach now, but that team back then was a lot better now. I mean, but back they were like
it was better back then
than they are now.
Yeah,
for
Rose. Sure. I'm pretty sure that's CJ.
But that was older Derrick Rose, like 25 Derrick Rose after 25 from the Knicks. Derrick Rose.
He's older.
Derrick Rose
now,
didn't become like, yes, we can talk about D Rose again until like Detroit.
But he did have that 50 ball.
That was in Minnesota. I give you that.
But I think is you still surround the guy with talent, and he doesn't do anything with it. Year in, year out, you're trying to cater to this guy to get talent, but what is he doing with it?
Yeah.
And that's sometimes I think that's the other side of the conversation. Yeah, the coach, he's not progressing the players as well as maybe the organization wants to. But is this guy helping the coach out with any of that? Is he the leader of the team?
Then we can
get Yeah, like, does he set the tone in practice? Because he's like, no, we're going to be practicing this way. Is he okay with the lackadaisical effort? That's on your leader as well.
I think he is underperforming. I think he should be up there with the Joel Embiids and Jokies.
I agree.
Big Joker. But I definitely think he's underperforming, even being the top 5 big, because like the big man position is changing so much now. That's definitely a good point to bring up. Like, what's going on with Karl Anthony Towns? I mean, yeah, you're putting up good numbers, but you're not putting up what you really should be putting up. You should be doing a lot better.
You've been averaging like a double.
Always the coach. Season. It is sometimes the players that I will agree with that. Sometimes it's both. So you have to
be a 25
what to do with what. You know what I mean? He says he wants to be in Minnesota. Okay, well, you have to do something. Just because you're the only person, just because you feel like you're the only person there, or things ain't going your way, that does not mean underperform.
Yeah.
So let's switch routes. Let's go to the NFL. What y'all think about Carson to the Colts, man?
How did you start off, Sue?
How do y'all feel the Eagles fared with this trade?
Okay. Shall I go first?
Go
ahead. You're the coach.
For the shoe. It was done for the shoe, and I love it. We finally have a quarterback. Since Andrew Luck left. A quarterback that I believe can do well for us. I didn't believe in Phillip Rivers last season, and I was right from the get-go. This season, I believe in Carson Wentz. I'm not saying we're going to make it to the Super Bowl. No, but we're definitely making it to the divisional round. Definitely. Say that today, we're making it to the divisional round. Now, I love this trade for us because we have a good offensive line that gave up 19 sacks last season. We have a great defense, finished top 10. You know what I'm saying? We had 15 interceptions off the season, and 10 fumbles. That defense playing great. We do have to fix some things up, but our secondary is young. Julian Blackman it was his rookie season. He got 2 interceptions. That's pretty good for your first season. You have Kenny Moore, 4 picks. The defense is coming together. The beast, Darius Leonard, leading his team in tackles since his rookie season, set the franchise record at that. I believe it was 161 or 163, along those lines. He's been playing his position very well. Justin Houston, even though he's a free agent, we're definitely going to re-sign him. We have DeForest Buckner, Denico Autry. Our line is set. We may need to adjust, but Justin Houston and DeForest Buckner can stay right there. Justin Houston is the same age as J.J. Watt. Been in the league same year, same time. So he's fine. He's fine. The D line is fine. Carson Wentz, he went to the Super Bowl. Well, he led his team to have a great season that led them to the Super Bowl. So now that he has a good offensive line that can block for him, he can produce, and he's going to go back to being the old Wentz that we all know he is. It's great for us. And Carson Wentz is going to rebuild his name, and everybody's going to remember who he is.
Oh, please, go Kenny, go Kenny, go. Go Kenny.
You know, first of all, I didn't know he was going to go run down the whole roster. Feel like he's playing Madden right now. He just went through the roster. That's what I feel like. But I will say your team is built for the long haul. You got a lot of experience in that team and a lot of young energy and talent going around. My thing is, we all know with the NFL and with any professional sport, it's about what have you done lately, right? And with Carson Wentz, in my opinion, with what the last games of the last season he's put on film was atrocious. It was horrible. And you can say it's due to blocking, you can say it's due to play calling, but at the end of the day, it was due to execution. And for him, it was decision making. It was accurate throwing accuracy. It was just being able to decipher the defense and being able to manipulate the defense. And I feel as though that hopefully he can get his mojo back with Frank Reich. But at the end of the day, you're the same quarterback. At the end of the day, he's still the same quarterback. His rookie, I believe that was his rookie or his second year that they won the Super Bowl. I don't remember.
I think it was his third.
It wasn't his rookie year.
So it's probably his second or his third. Either way. So he's really still learning. And for them to take away his OC, he's still young in the NFL game. So he's probably going to his fifth year now. So
he's gonna be fine.
And you hope so. But this is the point where now they start to become who they are. If you're only good under one coach, you're only going to be good under one coach. What if he's not having a good game or he's not having a good year of call of play? You're going to suck. So that's what you saw this year as far as like even when your OC isn't good, can you still execute plays? Can you still be able to make something happen? And that's why players like Deshaun Watson stand out. And that's why he's one of the best, because he's improvised. He can get through. He can create plays. And I don't see Carson Wentz doing that in the past year. Do I think that he can get back to that? I don't know. I think that injury really he just wasn't the same after that. So, but hey man, he's back with Frank Reich. So good luck to him, but I don't have much hope. Divisional wild card.
Wild card. So what about the Eagles, man? They give up. They get two things back. They get a third rounder and a potential first round. Right now, second round. That's if Carson plays 75% of the snap.
22, yeah.
Not only that, they're thinking about drafting a quarterback. After you do all of that, Jalen Hurts gets his little confidence, went over his teammates. You draft another quarterback. What happens to Jalen Hurts if they do this, and what even the direction is Philadelphia is even taking at this point? Because you really didn't get nothing back from Carson Wentz.
Well, you got a definite less of a hit on the salary cap, so that's going to help on that. Save about 28.
Like $33 million though.
Oh, yeah. I think you saved it was like between 28 and like 35 or something like that, because this contract is huge.
Dead cap, like that money's just gone.
Crazy. Yeah, the thing is with the draft situation, the draft, at least in my opinion, in the QB section, it's very top heavy. It's not really talented throughout. It's very, the top 5 guys are really good. And after that, you're going to get some real mid-level guys. So, I mean, now they're saying guys like Zach Wilson is ahead of Trevor, from Clemson, which is going to be interesting because that kind of bumps people down. Now, do you need a player like Trevor, or do you need a player like Justin now if I'm Jacksonville? Because now one of those two guys might be available, or Zach now. So that might change it up for the Eagles. I personally think they should probably just give Jalen a year, just see what he can do. Now they have a conditional first round pick, or conditional second round pick actually, and a second rounder for this year or a third rounder for this year. They got some tools that they can go out and get, some young guys out there. So I don't think they need to waste it on another quarterback. Do not at all.
What about you, sir? I honestly don't know with this
Yo,
organization.
if they're
You
really
like
gonna draft, oh my gosh, if they're really gonna draft another quarterback, I don't know. I don't know, because it's like you're just wasting draft picks at this point. It's like, nah, because Jalen Hurts, he even though he played 6 games, he did pretty well. He did fine. He did fine for me to, okay, let me sit back and observe him some more. He didn't earn a, oh, nah, you gotta go. You're like, okay, I'm gonna keep my eye on you. But for you to say, okay, let's get a quarterback, that's like a shot, like a punch to the gut to Jalen. Like, yeah, I believe you. You're my franchise quarterback. Let's go draft another one in case he doesn't do that well.
I'm,
Like,
I'm, I'm waiting for Jalen to really. I think it's gonna happen later on in his career, but he's gonna have a book where he's gonna give out all of his emotions from going back to Bama when he was benched in the national championship game to transferring out of Bama to go to Oklahoma, like the
still,
way all this happens, and now he gets to the league, he coming to the game, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, y'all about to draft somebody else? I wonder when he's gonna let it out or how he's gonna let it out. So it's gonna be.
he doesn't have enough talent around him. And they let what they let Jeffrey go, right? Today?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, they let Alshon Jeffrey go.
They had a new direction. You can tell by the hiring of the coach. Like they're going in a totally different direction.
Like,
nobody
you're
knows.
literally rebuilding everything now.
So since y'all talk about Jalen Hurts' confidence that they like draft another quarterback, what effects do you see like him having similarities with Carson Wentz? Like Carson Wentz just had a big deal. Next, they draft his quarterback, and now look, Carson Wentz is out. How you think that will affect Jalen Hurts? You think he will perform the same way?
It all depends on how he takes it. Everybody's different.
That's for sure.
If he takes it the way Kenny said it, that boy's gonna be hungry and he's gonna shut everybody up. Whether the team ends up making it to the playoffs or not, he'll still have an individually good season. Throw for like maybe 3,000-4,000 yards, have at least 15 touchdowns, maybe the most. I said maybe 15 touchdowns.
But
at least,
I'm definitely agree. But would this shake your confidence a little bit?
Wait, with Carson or with Jalen?
Jalen, you think it's going to shake his confidence?
If he takes it the way Kenny's describing it, no. But we don't know Jalen Hurts that well for me to really say like he's going to be upset. But I feel like he'll eat.
Well,
but there's not enough talent around him.
That's one thing. Well, the way I see it is that one you saw when he was at Alabama, where he was the heir apparent and he had to battle out. And Tua wasn't really a threat in the beginning of the year because he was a freshman that year. But at the same time, he was a good quarterback enough to be like, in the national championship game, we're going to come to you, to replace our starting QB. So, and he won that, that QB battle. And you saw how humble he was with that. And he just put his head down and grind and did that stuff. So I believe that he'll be able to battle it out. I think that he's humble enough to be like, this is a competition, and also this is a business. So he's gonna do what he needs to do. But on the other hand, he's young. He's been through a lot. You never knew. You never know with some of these guys. You never know. Because now you got organizations that where you might feel as though like they might be coming to you, like I might be the next, franchise guy. Next thing you know, they're trying to look for another franchise guy. And it's like, what's going to happen? Like, what's going on?
It's like a spit in the face.
Exactly.
So about you saying that with the organizations, let's switch over to the Panthers. They just cleared up major cap space, $28.5 million. I'm hearing rumors with Teddy Bridgewater as far as they might want to go in a different direction as far as because of physical limitations as they said it. what do you see is going on with the Panthers? Because I can't tell you. They cut the Pro Bowler K1 Shorts. They got rid of a couple other guys. They might be trying to go after Deshaun Watson, but I heard
Pieces for Deshaun
be in the trade package as well. And what's the point of having Deshaun with no Christian? You know what I mean? So what do you think the Panthers is doing as an organization? It's just so much going on in the NFL with these organizations and what direction they're even trying to go. I just don't see where the Panthers is going, especially after they signed Teddy to 3 years.
I mean, I don't think any of this was for a QB. So when you look at the Deshaun Watson situation, it's not about money. It's about the way that he was being treated as far as, all right, you send the franchise, you're not listening to me, you're not telling me what's going on around here. You're not trying to bring in people who may be trying to help. Bill O'Brien was messing up that their roster because he was head coach and GM at the same time. That's a conflict of interest, in most cases. So it's like, is this really about trying to get Deshaun, or is it just trying to be able to get some more other guys? I don't know. I'm not sure if it's really about Deshaun at this point. But I will say they will be able to get some nice free agents this year. I will say that. For 28, yeah. I think that they will be able to get some nice free agents. But the Deshaun Watson thing, it's not about money. It's about respect. And it's about being with an organization and being with a leader and with a coach that you believe in. And I don't know. Because though his choices are coaches that he believes he can believe in.
Definitely. What about you, Sue? What you think the Panthers are doing, man? Because I can't tell you. I don't know what's going on in this world anymore.
Man, they're just in rebuilding mode. Panthers are just rebuilding. They don't really have anybody but Christian McCaffrey, and they just signed Teddy. They don't really have that many players on the team that's like our bet. We can do something with it. Now you're clearing up cap space. I really feel like maybe it is to pick up other pieces to put back on the team. Your defense isn't doing that well. So you got to fix that up. You gotta cut some people in order to get some money back, so you can sign players that are worthy of the cap space that I'm creating. So they have to switch that up, especially in the conference they're in. It's just not that easy. So
you know how that South do, man.
Yeah, bro. Tom Brady's still down there. We don't know what New Orleans is doing.
Breeze is coming back apparently, so.
I love Drew Brees, but he gotta hang it up.
He won't.
He's hitting Drew Brees' DNA and Tom Brady's DNA are two different. Drew Brees is hitting his 40s, and that man is hurt. He is hurt, like bro. He is hurt. Like he's been getting hit left and right, collapsed lung. Like, bro,
yeah, I think it's time stop.
Before, did it say as a player? I think we gotta read these words. Did it say he's coming back as a player, or did you say he's coming back?
He's coming back to play.
No, it didn't say to play. I'm pretty
sure. Ball so hard, that stuff crazy. He's coming back to play.
Well, he's gonna lose that lung
he's not playing next year because I saw him break 11 ribs, and I don't want him to get hurt anymore. I don't wish injury like that.
That lung is gonna be gone. He's gonna lose that. I love Drew Brees. I do. That Drew Brees is one of the greatest of all time.
I'm not lying. I swear.
But he needs to stop.
Might be coming back to play.
You got one.
Be coming back. I don't believe you. But all right.
When I can't wait for breaking news to happen. I heard he might be coming back, man. And if he does come back, this is gonna be fun.
If he comes back, cool. If not, thank you.
But as far as the Panthers, I don't know either. If you're going to be in the rebuilding stage, get rid of Teddy Bridgewater. Actually, keep him because
they got to keep Teddy, keep Christian McCaffrey, get some tight ends, get some.
If you're going to be in rebuilding, you got to give up Christian McCaffrey. Just get more money, build in the draft. If you're gonna be in rebuilding, you gotta. I feel like you gotta go
for it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You gotta go for it, right? So
I see your point there. Okay.
You gotta.
He said not be competitive at all. Like you gonna have to tank in order. Like you might as well just go ahead and just give it all, like give away the shit.
Do you know how long that's gonna take you? Do you know how long that's gonna take?
5-year plan.
5-year plan. Nobody
Not
else.
all, it doesn't take long all the time if you think about it. It don't take
Those-
long. Once
it's
you
those
find your
small
identity,
chances, that 10 to 5% chance of the team coming together on the first year and you do great.
I'm just saying the team identity, they would have identity established and then they would know who to bring in. Matter of fact, what if they, let's just say they don't. Let's just say hypothetically they keep all the pieces. What you think they're going to do in the next 5 years?
I mean,
Nothing. So you might as well tank. For what? At least you'll get more out of tanking than being trying to win these games, and you're not going to win much games anyway.
but it's going to take me a long time. I'm tanking to get the top seed, and then I get the top seed, and then nothing happens. I'm still tanking just to get another top seed.
It would be quicker that way than to keep these pieces like Christian McCaffrey when you could get rid of him for some young guys or more cap space.
No, because I can put more pieces around him.
How?
Yeah, I'm saying, but with what at that point?
With what?
Yeah.
What do you think you're gonna do? That's what I'm saying. You would have more success tanking than trying to put pieces around Christian McCaffrey.
Nah.
The only thing about tanking is when you got a plan is that when you look at teams like Miami, who damn near tanked for the better part of the 2000s, and now they're kind of, they got like a 5-year plan. It's all about your attitude. Like, you can not be good the first year, but as long as you're establishing yourself, your identity, getting better and progressing, and the attitudes are getting better, like, that's all that matters. So at this point, if I'm the Panthers and I'm in rebuilding mode, I probably would consider tanking and bringing in a coach that has the culture, that's going to establish a culture of, all right, this
Exactly.
is what we're going to do.
Establish a culture.
Get that. But I wouldn't do it.
But the thing is, McCaffrey, look, man, 5 years, because you got to think about it, you're in the NFC South as Carolina. Like, you're going to have to play some tough teams every year. You're not going to be in the playoffs. Like,
so
sorry,
why keep him?
Next 3 years. Yeah,
so why
next
keep
him? McCaffrey, he's going to be in his 7th year by then, which means that he possibly has another 3 good years before he's going, before he's on the decline. So I'll give him 10 years as a productive player. So his rookie year through 10 years as a productive player. After 10, he's probably going to hit a decline. But so you're really giving him about 3 years that you're really working with, maybe 2.5, and you're going to be splitting carries with somebody. So I mean, like, it depends on how you really want to work with him.
Yeah,
but it's going to be interesting.
I would get some.
If you're going to tank, you might as well get rid of him.
Exactly. Go hard. Go hard.
If you're trying to be competitive while you're doing this and try to save face, yeah, keep him. Why not? Let him be a Pro Bowl.
Ain't nothing competitive about tanking. You're gonna lose regardless. But let's switch focus, man. What is the best situation for JJ Watt? He got out of Houston. What is the best situation for him?
A lot of people want to see him in Pittsburgh with his brother, but that's not going to do much.
I want JJ to get a ring. Who is a team that he needs to go to a contender too? Because his time is almost up. To be honest,
I mean, he's only been in the league since 2011.
He's been in the league for 10 years.
Yeah, that's a long time.
I mean, I get that.
He has another.
But you don't think he's on his decline soon? Like, he shouldn't be on his decline soon.
He's got another 2.5, maybe 3 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Really productive.
2 to 3.
Getting maybe like 9, 10 plus sacks, and then after that, he's going to get about a 7
I just think it's time for him to. He wants to win the championship
season. Not even 2.
I like to see him on the Packers.
They're not gonna win.
With the Packers, I think I can see that. I can see that.
That'll be nice, but they're not gonna win.
I'll see him on the Packers.
They say Seattle too.
Oh, I can definitely see him on there.
Yeah.
Him and Carlos Dunlap. Oh my.
That'd be nice.
Bobby Wagner.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, and they got some nice. They're gonna have a nice front 6, front 7.
But they're gonna have to fix that secondary. They fix that secondary, they'll be fine. Then Seattle
they fix that offense, they'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's just the offensive line. That's it. The pieces around them, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, they're fine. They still got Luke Wilson as a tight end, right?
But I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you can get a better receiver than Tyler Lockett. Like, there's a better receiver on the market each year than Tyler Lockett.
I can understand that. It depends on who's on the market and
he was kind of disgusted by Tyler Lockett.
No.
Like, Tyler Lockett is good,
player.
Bro. He's a solid number 2.
You're not hearing me. Okay. The fact that they use him as number 2 is probably what. Yeah, he's more of a 3. You need more guys. like I think DK, he can be a number 1. I think that he has potential to be number 1 within another year or so. But they don't have.
Like the number
I think
1.
Luke Wilson might be their number 2, to be honest. But they're trying to force Lockett to be in the number 2, and he's doing really well. But I mean, there's a better receiver every year on the market that they could get to help than Lockett. I mean, I'm sorry, I like Lockett. I think that he's a great player. He's one of those guys that you can always rely on, always. But at the same time, there's better receivers out there. I'm sorry. There's better receivers.
That's like saying you can get rid of him then. That's basically like you're going to get rid of him. You don't need him anymore because you found another receiver that's better.
Yeah.
Like you said,
Tyler Lockett has been producing with y'all. So it's not like he doesn't deserve to be on the
don't mean that you can't have better production. Or that has, like, yeah. I'm just saying, like, when you have free
always want better
receivers
production, but that's bait down. Yeah. That's basically you're gonna have to get rid of him essentially.
Like you said, the Tyler Lockett.
Like I said, there's better receivers out there every year. I think that Russ wants him because he's reliable when he catches the ball, especially on the sideline. Let's hope. But I don't want to dig too deep into that.
Definitely. So let's switch focus. College basketball. And there's only 2 teams that's really worth talking about right now. And then they're number 1 and 2. But do you see this being Gonzaga's year? They're 21-0 right now.
Just because you're undefeated right now doesn't necessarily mean anything. Like I remember a season, 2 seasons. Syracuse went like 12-0. Then they just lost 3 in a row, made it to the tournament, and then lost. Season meant nothing. Kentucky, they were undefeated, just like the Patriots, all the way to the championship and then lost. So not the championship.
They made it to like the Elite 8 or Final 4.
Final 4, right before the championship to Frank the Tank. And then Frank the Tank saw Jabril, what's his name again? Man. What's that man? He was drafted by the Sixers, the center.
Oh, you talking about Jahlil Okafor? That's who you.
Thank you, Jahlil Okafor, and then they beat him with Duke. But they had a great season, undefeated, and then when it mattered, they lost. So just because you're undefeated right now, all right, cool, kudos. You had a great regular season. Let's take it to the tournament, because the tournament, nobody bracket ever makes it because that tournament's unpredictable. The underdogs, they normally win because they're hungry. So I don't care about these records, these standings right now. I don't care about that. All I care about is what I'm going to see during the tournament.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, but from what I've seen, they're playing pretty well. I like what I've seen so far, and I think that they have some potential to make, to cause some noise. I think for the past couple of years, they've been, really trying to get there. I think this year is just the culmination of all that, but I'm excited to see what's going to happen in this whole tournament, to be honest with you. With everything that's going on with these players that's coming in, I want to know how the attitude's about to be, especially these 1 and 2 teams. So like you said, Sue, with these underdogs, they're coming in hungry. I want to know how this pandemic is it going to make them even more hungry? Like, how is this edge going to work out?
They happened last year.
Yeah, because now you got some of these guys that came back for another year, or some of these freshmen that gained a year of playing experience, or just gained another year of practice to get ready for that experience. You got sophomores that are coming back. It's like, I'm ready. Like, I missed last year. I am so ready to come back so I can, really put my stamp on this program. And it's just going to be a big opportunity for a lot of people. So this is gonna be interesting. But does Gonzaga have it?
I
It's gonna be interesting. Yes,
I think this is Gonzaga. This is going to be an interesting year as well, for sure. But I think if they're going to win it, it has to be this year. And I'm going to say this because the whole Corona situation is actually on their side, and I'm saying that only because teams are not playing as consistent. And the thing is, they're able to beat ranked teams. They're able to get rest. They're able to continue the momentum. They have a great mix of young guys and old guys. They got great height on the team. I love the freshman phenom, Jalen Suggs. Like, he goes off. And I think every time they played the team, like, they dominated that team. Like, I haven't seen them not dominate. And the only team that I could have seen beat them was Baylor. And that game literally got canceled. And they're 1-2. And Baylor, they have more like older guys on their team, but they don't have as much height as Gonzaga. So, and it's two different types of play. So it's really going to be interesting how Gonzaga, I think the pandemic is definitely going to favor Gonzaga for sure, because these teams are not able to get that momentum like you want. You know what I mean? Like, when you play consistently every day, your games don't get canceled. You're being able to practice. You're not worried about people getting sick. You're able to gain that momentum towards the end. But because you got certain games getting canceled, things happening, you're not able to get over that hump and finally really adjust. So March Madness is definitely going to be madness.
It's gonna be crazy.
But I think if Gonzaga's going to win it, it has to be this season. This is definitely going to be a season I think that's going to play in their favor. What about, man, we talk about basketball for college. Let's switch over to football. The SWAC. Primetime himself at Jackson State University. The shutout yesterday, 53-0. It's a shutout. How do y'all feel about primetime and what he's about to do at Jackson State?
He's setting the trend for the culture. You know, really trying to. I think we've all talked about keeping the talent within the community, and making sure that we're utilizing our own resources rather than outsourcing our resources to these other communities and letting them take advantage of it. You know, willingly, just because we like the opportunities that they might present, rather than, you know, keeping them within our own community and utilizing them and put them together to create, you know, something bigger for ourselves. So I think that, you know, he's just the spark, you know, of having some prominent black head coaches or prominent players come back, and prominent guys go to these prominent HBCUs. And it's going to be really good to see this transformation and to really see how this tide shifts. So I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the culture. I'm excited for the school, the players. They get to learn under this legendary guy. I don't see any negatives in this. This is a very, very positive, and I love everything about it.
What about you, Sue?
I like it as well. You know, I love the point that Kenny brought up with the whole culture thing, because it does provide a great perspective of how black athletes can coach as well. You know, we had an episode where we discussed there's not that many black coaches in the league. So there's a reason why, in my opinion, there's a reason why Deion Sanders went to college instead. You know, they created a bigger name for themselves in the college in the collegiate world. So by them doing that, they're able to have a great chance of coming back to become a coach. And then you take the knowledge, because he was one of the best deep threats. You didn't want to throw to his side because you know he was going to pick it off and take it to the house. He take that knowledge that he learned in the league where he shined. He does great at Jackson State. He's going to do well. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen with it.
I think it's going to be great in Jackson State, man. I think what really had me dying laughing though is the fact that somebody stole his stuff and then they tried to say he misplaced it and then they returned it. I'm like, y'all can't do that to Prime. Y'all can't do that.
Especially not in
Don't
his
let the
first
win be
his
bittersweet.
debut, bro.
He went in. He had a whole interview about it. Hot. He was hot. I was dying laughing. I was about to say, I didn't want to say nothing about the HBCUs, but I'm just saying, keep your things close to you, boy.
That's sad, man. It's sad that you even had to. His first game. His first game.
They did it in the pandemic too.
Man, the thing is, his assistant caught the person. So I'm not advocating any type of felonies or misdemeanors or anything like this, such as theft. But come on now, you gotta understand, like you're certain, like you can't do it like after the game and try to be sneaking in. Like, come on now, like it's just you don't do that stuff, man. I ain't cool. That's not cool. And that's not a good look for anybody involved in this.
Not at all. Not at all. So let's just hit the nail on the head with our last topic. Tennis, Australian Open. Man, oh man. Naomi dominated.
She's amazing.
I see it.
Dominated. 21 game match streak that she's on right now. Her 4th title. I don't know what to say about her. She's amazing, honestly.
Yeah.
And the next great.
Yeah, no, definitely. She's really on her way to greatness.
She really could, if not be better than Serena, because Serena hit a high mark for anybody to grab. So you never know if she'll be able to reach it or surpass it. So far, what she did right now, I don't know how long if she's been in her career, but for the time that we've known her name, and it hasn't been that long of a time, she's already at number 4. So she's doing well. She's doing well. And she can go down as one of the greatest tennis players of all time.
For sure.
Haitian blood.
I will say she's a transcendent person and she's a transcendent athlete. And she's one of those people, I'm not going to put her in the category of an activist, athlete activist just yet, but she does have the tendency to stand up for what she believes in publicly. And I think that's the key word is publicly, and she has no shame about it. You know, she's proud of her Haitian roots as well. So she wears that proudly. So I'm happy for her, but I'm more than happy, just to see that she is doing it because she's an amazing person.
Definitely. So hey, did y'all see the interview though when she was talking to her opponent? What's your name?
Jenny? Jenny or Jennifer?
Jenny. It's just that you can relate to it because you know how people do it to you. They ask for your name, you give them the name that you want, and they still manage to call you something else.
Yeah.
I know she didn't mean to do it on purpose, but it was just funny for me. It was just funny for me at that moment. And then I think the match with her and Serena was just fantastic as well. I think if Serena was just younger, the thing is with Serena, she's at that point where I feel as though she can beat anybody but Naomi. If she was just a little bit younger, you know what I mean? If she was 33, her and Naomi would probably have an epic battle.
So like in her prime?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because
where she was facing mostly her sister and was always winning.
Yeah, Serena's out her prime now.
Bro, she would have taught Naomi a lesson. She would have got more than one. She would have taught Naomi a lesson. I'm pretty sure Naomi learned from watching Venus.
But I think it was a good game. You know what I mean? I just think Serena is out of her prime. Can she still compete? Yes. I think she hits the semifinals damn near all the time.
Yeah.
It's just that she always loses in the semifinals or the finals. Like she still has enough in the tank, but can she walk away from the game and be accomplished? Yes. But does she want to? You never know. You know what I mean?
Not anytime soon.
You never want to walk away from the game that you know and love.
Knowing that she can still play.
Yeah. I think if she's just squeezed out one or two, and she has the most. I think that's what she's really chasing at this point. But Naomi was fantastic, dominated. She's still dominating. I can't wait to see her in the next tournament. And let's just go to the men's singles.
Hold on. I just gotta say this one comparison. I don't know if y'all are gonna agree with this, but I'm gonna say this and I'm probably gonna walk away after this. But that match was supposed to be how Mahomes and Brady was supposed to be. That's how it was supposed to be. Osaka versus Serena. That's how it was supposed to be. Mahomes taking the torch from Brady and putting Brady in retirement, even though Naomi he's not gonna put Serena in retirement.
But people are thinking about that.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Like, oh, Naomi's coming up. If she does this, it's like the passing of the guard. But I just wanted to bring that up. I'm probably gonna walk away after this. Put myself on mute.
I mean, but you got to think this is the second time that they've seen each other. So I would say it would be more like the first time.
The record. Is it one piece?
No, it's Naomi up 2-0. Yeah.
She got a car right
now. She beat Serena in the finals, I think. I want to say 2018, 2019.
Was it like best of?
I can't remember, but I know for a fact she beat her in the finals. And it was emotional for Naomi and stuff like that.
That's 2 out of 3.
She
got to win one more. I got to give her one more.
I mean, she swept her in this past match, though.
Definitely.
First two matches,
she beats her, if she's 3-0, that's just me, so I can literally set it apart. If she can give me 3-0, I'm like, okay, yeah, okay. I'm giving so far. You got me at 2. You're doing great at 2-0, but can you beat him a third time? And then it's like, can you really come back from 3-0? Not really. I want 3.
But let's switch over to men's singles. Novak Djokovic. I think this was a big win for him. He's been struggling throughout the year. Things going on with him, just family, and then losing the last one. I think this right here, it puts him at a good spot. You know what I mean? He's feeling good about himself.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Chalk It to the Game podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Chalk It to the Game, Twitter at Chalk It 2 the Game, as well as YouTube at Chalk It to the Game channel. You can also catch us on every platform where you can find your favorite podcast. Just search Chalk It to the Game and enjoy.